During a tumultuous time in the land of Judah, there arose a king whose reign would be marked by righteousness and unwavering faith in the Almighty. This is the story of King Hezekiah, a ruler who emerged as a beacon of hope amid the shadows of impending peril. In the days of King Hezekiah, the kingdom of Judah found itself at a crossroads. Hezekiah, the son of King Ahaz, ascended to the throne at the age of 25, determined to restore the spiritual and moral fabric of his realm. His father, Ahaz, had been a king who turned away from the path of righteousness, but Hezekiah would prove to be a stark contrast to his predecessor. Hezekiah's reign was marked by his uncommon commitment to God's commands, much like his forefather, King David. He eradicated the high places of pagan worship, demolished the idolatrous Asherah poles, and even dared to shatter the bronze serpent known as Nehushtan, a relic from the days of Moses. This serpent, once a divine instrument of healing, had regrettably become a source of idolatrous worship. Hezekiah's actions set him apart from the kings of Judah who had often strayed from God's path. His unwavering trust in the Lord, the God of Israel, made him a rare and remarkable figure in the annals of history. After all, his predecessors had not always followed in the footsteps of their forebears, often yielding to the temptations of idolatry and foreign gods. As Hezekiah ruled with a fervent dedication to the Almighty, he earned favor in the eyes of the Lord, and wherever he ventured, success followed. The divine presence was unmistakably with him, guiding his every endeavor. However, amid the backdrop of Hezekiah's righteous rule, a menacing shadow loomed over the horizon. The kingdom of Judah faced an imminent threat: the powerful and relentless Assyrian Empire, led by the formidable King Sennacherib. While Hezekiah's piety had brought blessings, his devotion to God would soon be put to the ultimate test as the Assyrian army encroached upon his lands. In this crucible of faith and impending danger, Hezekiah's unwavering trust in the Lord would be the cornerstone upon which he and his people would stand. As the clouds of uncertainty gathered over Jerusalem, the stage was set for a divine intervention that would resound through the ages, a testament to the unwavering faith of King Hezekiah and the boundless power of prayer in the face of adversity. As the sun dipped beneath the horizon, casting long shadows over the ancient city of Jerusalem, the atmosphere was heavy with an impending dread. The Assyrian army had arrived, encamping ominously at the very gates of this sacred city, their presence like an encroaching storm. The people of Jerusalem, once bustling with daily life, now found themselves gripped by fear and uncertainty. They had heard the tales of the Assyrians' ruthless conquests, their armies laying waste to entire nations, and now those same conquerors stood at their doorstep. A hush fell over the city as an envoy from the Assyrian king approached the walls. He was a formidable figure, his voice echoing with arrogance and menace as he addressed the city's defenders. His words, laden with threats, carried far and wide, ensuring that all within earshot heard his message. "Listen well, people of Jerusalem," he declared, his voice dripping with contempt. "Your king, Hezekiah, has deceived you. Do not think for a moment that your God can save you from the might of Assyria. We have conquered nations far greater and more powerful than yours, reducing them to dust." He continued to taunt the besieged city, mocking their trust in the Lord. "Do you rely on Egypt, that feeble reed, for help? Or do you put your faith in your God, whose high places and altars your king has destroyed? You shall worship only before this altar in Jerusalem." He jeered. The ominous threats hung heavily in the air, and the people of Jerusalem exchanged fearful glances. They were well aware of the Assyrians' reputation, and the situation appeared dire. Would their trust in the Lord and their king be enough to withstand this formidable adversary? As the envoy's words settled over Jerusalem like a shroud, the fear among the people intensified. The once vibrant city now felt besieged not only by the Assyrian army outside its walls but by the weight of uncertainty and the daunting challenge ahead. In the face of such a formidable threat, Hezekiah and his people had a choice to make: succumb to fear and despair or turn to the Lord in unwavering faith and prayer. Upon hearing the menacing words of the Assyrian envoy and witnessing the fear that had gripped his people, King Hezekiah was not immune to the weight of the situation. He knew that the Assyrian army at their gates was a formidable force, and the fate of Jerusalem hung in the balance. However, Hezekiah's response was not one of panic or despair but rather an unwavering faith in the God of Israel. Hezekiah retreated to the safety of the royal chambers within the palace. There, in the dimly lit room, he knelt before the Lord, his heart heavy with the burden of leadership and the safety of his people. He began to pray fervently, his words a reflection of his profound trust and reliance on God. O Lord, God of Israel, who is enthroned above the cherubim of the ark and the temple, Hezekiah prayed, acknowledging God's divine sovereignty. You are the one true God, the creator of the heavens and the earth. I humbly beseech you to bend down your ear and hear our cry. Open your eyes, O Lord, and see the dire situation we face. With unwavering conviction, Hezekiah continued, You have heard the taunting words of the Assyrians, who have defied you, the living God. They have boasted of their conquests, but they are mere men, and their gods are but the work of human hands crafted from wood and stone. Now, O Lord, please save us from their hand, that all the kingdoms of the earth may know that you alone, O Lord, are God. In his prayer, Hezekiah laid bare his trust and reliance on the Lord. He acknowledged God's power to deliver his people and pleaded for divine intervention. The themes of faith, trust, and reliance on God resonated through his heartfelt words. Hezekiah's prayer was a testament to his unwavering belief that, in times of crisis, turning to the Lord was the source of strength and salvation. In the midst of King Hezekiah's fervent prayer, a key figure emerged in this biblical narrative: the prophet Isaiah. Isaiah, known for his close connection to the divine and his role as a messenger of God's will, stepped forward as a beacon of hope in this time of uncertainty. Isaiah, who had been praying within the temple when Hezekiah sought the Lord's guidance, received a divine message in response to the king's heartfelt plea. The Lord's words flowed through Isaiah, and he emerged from the temple with a message of great importance and reassurance. Thus says the Lord, the God of Israel. Isaiah began, his voice carrying the authority of the Almighty. Because you have prayed to me, Hezekiah, I have heard your prayer. Do not be afraid of the Assyrian army or their threats. I will intervene on your behalf, for I have seen your trust in me. Isaiah's words were like a soothing balm to Hezekiah's troubled soul and the anxious hearts of Jerusalem's inhabitants. He continued, The Assyrian king shall not come into this city, nor shoot an arrow here. By the way that he came, by the same shall he return, and he shall not come into this city. Isaiah's message conveyed divine protection and the promise of deliverance. It was a testament to the power of faith and prayer, showcasing how turning to God in times of crisis could lead to divine intervention. His presence and message added a layer of hope to the narrative, reminding all that even in the face of daunting threats, God's providence could shine through. As the Assyrian army continued its menacing presence at the gates of Jerusalem, a divine intervention of awe-inspiring proportions unfolded. The moment had come for God to display His sovereign power and protect His faithful people. In the darkest hour of Jerusalem's history, a divine hand reached out to shield the city. One fateful night, as the people of Jerusalem slept, an angel of the Lord descended upon the Assyrian camp. With a single stroke of divine might, the angel executed a decisive and devastating blow. In the morning, the once proud Assyrian army lay decimated. The ground was strewn with the lifeless bodies of 185,000 soldiers, their menacing threat extinguished. The news of this miraculous intervention spread like wildfire through the Assyrian camp. Panic and terror gripped the hearts of the survivors as they beheld the unimaginable destruction that had befallen their comrades. The Assyrian king, who had boasted arrogantly of his power and the futility of trusting in God, was struck down, humbled by the overwhelming evidence of divine might. In the face of this overwhelming defeat, the Assyrians had no choice but to retreat in haste. Their siege of Jerusalem had ended in disaster, and their dreams of conquest lay shattered. The city they had sought to conquer through intimidation and threats now stood resolute, its faith in God vindicated. The retreat of the Assyrians was a testament to the enduring power of faith, prayer, and trust in the Lord. It underscored the central message of this narrative, that in times of crisis, turning to God with trust and reliance could lead to miraculous deliverance. The Assyrian retreat marked the triumphant conclusion of a story that had begun with fear and uncertainty, demonstrating that God's sovereignty prevails over all adversities. With the Assyrian threat obliterated and the once daunting enemy in full retreat, King Hezekiah stood atop the walls of Jerusalem, overlooking the now safe city. His heart swelled with gratitude, and his voice rang out in praise to the Almighty. "Glorious and merciful God," he proclaimed, his voice resonating through the streets. "You alone are sovereign over heaven and earth. It is by your mighty hand and unfailing love that we stand victorious today. You have heard our prayers and seen our faith, and you have delivered us from the jaws of destruction." Hezekiah's gratitude was palpable, his thanksgiving sincere. With humility, he acknowledged the limits of human power and the boundless might of the divine. He knew that the victory over the Assyrians was not of his own making but a testament to the faithfulness of God. The people of Jerusalem joined their king in thanksgiving, their voices rising as one in a chorus of praise. The city, once gripped by fear, was now filled with an overwhelming sense of relief and victory. The streets buzzed with gratitude, and the temple resounded with songs of worship. Hezekiah ordered sacrifices to be offered in the temple as a symbol of their thanksgiving. The aroma of burnt offerings and the sound of prayers filled the air, a fragrant and heartfelt offering to the one who had delivered them. This section of the narrative highlighted the profound gratitude and acknowledgement of God's sovereignty and power that flowed from Hezekiah's heart. It conveyed the jubilation and relief that permeated the city of Jerusalem, as its people recognized that their trust and reliance on God had led to a miraculous deliverance from the brink of destruction. As the days turned into weeks, and the memory of the Assyrian threat began to fade into the annals of history, the people of Jerusalem continued to reflect on the profound lessons learned during that tumultuous time. The narrative had been a testament to the power of trust and reliance on God in times of crisis. It had shown how a righteous leader, like King Hezekiah, could turn to prayer and faith when faced with insurmountable odds. Hezekiah's unwavering belief in God's protection, even in the face of overwhelming threats, had become a source of inspiration for generations to come. The consequences of pride and blasphemy, as exemplified by the Assyrian defeat, were etched into the collective memory of the people. They understood that no matter how formidable an enemy might seem, no force on earth could stand against the Almighty. The Assyrians' arrogant boasting had led to their downfall, a stark reminder that pride goes before a fall. But it was not just the Assyrians who had been humbled. The people of Jerusalem had also undergone a transformation. Their faith had been tested and proven, and they had emerged from the ordeal with a deeper understanding of God's sovereignty and His unwavering love for His people. In the years that followed, King Hezekiah's reign continued to be marked by righteousness and devotion to God. The people rallied around their king, and together, they strengthened their commitment to following the path of righteousness. The narrative served as a beacon of hope, a reminder that no matter how dire the circumstances, faith could lead to divine intervention and ultimate victory. It was a story that would be passed down through the generations, a testament to the enduring power of trust in God. And so, the narrative of King Hezekiah and the Assyrian invasion became more than just a historical account. It became a source of inspiration, a lesson in faith, and a testament to the unwavering love and protection of the Almighty. It was a story that would continue to be told, a reminder that in times of darkness, there was always the promise of a brighter dawn for those who put their trust in God. In closing, the biblical story of King Hezekiah and the Assyrian invasion serves as a timeless reminder of the enduring power of faith and trust in the face of adversity. It teaches us that no challenge is insurmountable when we turn to God in unwavering faith. As we reflect on this narrative, may we find strength in our own trials and tribulations, knowing that, like Hezekiah, we too can experience divine intervention when we place our trust in the Almighty. Let this story inspire us to face our own challenges with faith, knowing that God's love and protection are always with us.